much again for that glowing introduction, Harry. I will certainly correct Barry at multiple occasions as to people's names here, but I jest, of course. The excitement, of course, being in this environment, you know, it extends to not just the players, obviously the casting team as well. But in terms of excitement, of course, now we look at, you know, we've got match 1 out of the way, which was Barcelona versus Monaco. It was tightly contested. This has slightly different permutations. You've got Manchester United, who was sat in 4th, as it stands. They are looking up the table rather than down the table. And then, of course, you look on the other side of the fence, you have a team that are very much looking up at the table at the moment in FC Inter. Both have got importance on this game. But it's going to be a case now of who executes. And more importantly, are we going to see more big-time players? Are we going to see the Rashford? Are we going to see the Lautaro Martinez? I feel as though having a quick conversation with some of the Inter guys earlier on, a little bit of a split between whether some people are going to use that Martinez or not. I certainly know from the United side of the fence, they are delighted to have Rashford at their disposal.
Well, Rashford's a big throw-in, isn't he?
Absolutely.
I mean, look, it's the excitement of today, right? It's just everything's new, and it's going to be. These guys are used to this pressure, but I still think as it winds down towards, you know, the latter stages of the league, was every point you saw Cam's there in the interview, before we even started the interview, he was kind of a bit disappointed. Like, you know, and these two teams, Inter need to put points on the board, don't they, realistically? Yeah. And then at the same time, Manchester United, you said it to me before the broadcast, they've been chugging along, consistent. Is it their time to shine today and put on a bit of a show? Inter won't want that to happen, obviously, as well. So it's going to be an interesting one as well. Arda's up first, I think, is it?
Yeah, well, I think looking at who we've got in the chairs, it's I would say it's the reigning MVP of the league in Nexa versus arguably one of the kind of breakout stars so far in Arda for Inter. So this is setting up very nicely in terms of the matchups. It's one thing watching the teams match up against one another, but you see the players sitting in the chairs, though, it's a very different thing, and you go, oh, actually, that looks like quite a spicy affair. And knowing these two, I think that's what you're going to see. I think you're going to see emotion from Nexa. You're going to see kind of, I would say, some coldness from Arda. He's very considered in how he approaches the game. But that's what makes the best types of games, when you have those opposites attract into these games.
Well, it's probably important not to get too hot or too cold, even if they're visibly shouting and stuff. You can see, you know, sometimes that's just kind of a release, isn't it? Just to kind of get out that little bit of kind of emotion, I suppose, and then reset yourself again. But what we've seen so far in the first match day, or the first matchup there, I think we're going to see more of in this. Chances, you know, creating chances, and then who's going to be able to finish them.
Well, if you look at the two teams in terms of the players that are on the field, as we wait, obviously our referees are making sure that, you know, competitive integrity is maintained. They're making sure that everybody has their squads, and as you probably will not realise at home, is that these guys will have lineups they have to submit before they get onto the console. They're just making sure that everything is the way that it needs to be. But if you look at the players that are on each of the pitches, you may know as a general football fan, you will know in terms of with Manchester United, they have Rashford, they have Martial, they have Sancho, they have Bruno, they have Casemiro. On Inter side of the fence, there's Calhanoglu, there's Lautaro, there's Lukaku, there's Barella, there's Correa. There's players there that can really win you games. And you know, both teams have game winners here.
A big one. A few lads were saying to me that Origi is a good throw in there for him as well, but whether or not he plays or not is going to be a thing.
Well, we'll see that with AC Milan later on.
Sorry.
It's okay. We keep him honest here, folks. I promise you, we keep him honest. But in terms of those players, they do have players to call on. And again, looking at it from a United standpoint, you'll probably think that their centrepiece is now going to be Marcus Rashford. It was already in terms of his regular kind of base card, as it were, for lack of a better term, but having a big time in there is a massive difference. Yeah,
well, I'll try not let my, you know, the fact that I'm a Manchester United fan
See, I wasn't going to out you. I
already outed myself earlier because, you know, I mean, look, these boys know what they need to do. The one thing I would say, Wes, right, is they've been very consistent. It's something you've said to me. They've been very consistent across. They're very interchangeable, the lads playing. They've all scored similar amount of goals. You know, they've all created similar amount of chances. So it's going to be interesting to see what this lineup is like and the tactics and stuff like that. Viewers at home will obviously realise that there's a reason why they pick the teams that they pick, to get the best out of the teams that suit their play style. And as you can just get a quick little look here of Sabitzer up front and stuff like that. That's something that you spoke about in the last match day. That seems to be a huge game plan for Manchester United.
Yeah, and it's more so a tactic to keep down the team, the collective strength level. So putting him in his secondary position works out quite well. It's not necessarily something that they would necessarily go to, but it's something that they feel that they need to, as we're going to see Manchester United in their traditional red kit going from left to right, and Inter Milan in their black and blue from right to left. And we'll see whether this will match the drama of what we saw in game 1 as Lisandro Martinez. See the Super Council's leading it forward there. It's Rashford in towards Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes looking across the box, looking for Sabitzer. It's going to bounce down kindly. It's going to be Anthony Martial. Martial to Fred. Fred, neat little takeaway, and he's not going to win the penalty there. Instead, it's going to be one away to Brozovic. Fred wins it again, though. Goes cross-field, looking for Marcus Rashford. Dumfries with the header clear. It's gone for a corner.
And I think Wes as well this is all going to be about who can get on top early, as we're seeing here.
Certainly, Maguire with the flick on. As Lautaro leads it clear, finds Romelu Lukaku. Martinez can Inter spring a counter here. They can't, as Lisandro Martinez will take that ball clear. Plays the ball long, looking for Rashford. Bastoni back to Handanovic. Across the way to Dumfries.
It's a bit cagey, Wes.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit to start out. Just a little bit. First 10 in-game minutes, you often find it's almost a little bit of a fact-finding mission as the ball goes towards Wan-Bissaka and Maguire will head it back. Sometimes players will take these moments to just figure out what their players are up against. Because, yes, you know, as we said, these guys are friends off the field, but they might not necessarily encounter their play style, or may have never had a friendly or a scrimmage against them. So as a result, the first time you're coming up against them is in front of the bright lights and in front of the camera.
Yeah,
so
it's tough because you're under pressure to get results as well. That's the big thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You only get one crack at it. You've only one match, you know, within one game within the match. So
yeah, absolutely, and that's the key point here. As Correa looks forward, Casemiro will intercept it. You don't get these games back, as we have gone to great lengths and explaining prior to it. Sabitzer looks for a through ball. Skriniar will clear that one away. Fred, Sabitzer tries to dink the ball across, and that crossfield ball seems to not just have stopped with Monaco.
No, it seems to be
a bit of a ploy that everyone is going with here. And what impressed me the most, as I've kind of gone and made mention before, what impressed me the most on Matchday 4 was the calmness and the composure that Manchester United showed. But here is Correa. Oh, it's gone through the hands of De Gea.
De Gea nearly let it slip.
He nearly let that one slip, and there was an opportunity there for Inter. And Casemiro will play it forward to Rashford. Here's Fred. And I think that those chances will only come at a premium. Fred, Bruno, tries to roll it through to Fred. Instead, Barella will intercept it. Ball goes kindly again. Fred, and it's intercepted again by Barella. Kalanoglu. Sabitzer, Fernandes. Manchester United looking to build here. Fernandes. Dispossessed by DeMarco. Here's Handanovic. Forward towards Casemiro. Fred. Bruno looking for Sabitzer. Sabitzer's on. Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Marcel Sabitzer. It's outside of the foot.
Well, he's playing in that advanced role exactly for that reason, Wes, isn't he?
Brilliant finish from him.
Get onto those balls.
Brilliant finish from him. You can see that was very much appreciated by not only Nexa, but his teammates as well. They know how important it is to set the tone.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant finish. Brilliant finish from Sabitzer. You see, ball gets cleared out here. Ball to Woodfield. You'll see the ball down there. Fred gets it down quickly and in transition. We talk about the quickness. Sometimes it's not taking a touch. Sometimes it's first time passes. And that one unlocked that Italian into defence.
I think it was Sabitzer. Bruno with the first time touch, was it? Or the first touch pass, I should say.
Very much so.
Into the path.
Bruno, and you can see there, they know what that means.
That's a huge goal.
It's the composure, it's that mentality bit that's the more, you know, the bits on the pitch are impressive enough, but sometimes it's the off-field stuff that really catches my eye.
Yeah.
As we'll see Nexa up to 7 goals now. Is Handanovic to Bastoni.
They'll just want to settle down a little bit now and
Need to find an answer.
Get an attack going.
We'll need to find one. And he had that opportunity that De Gea nearly fumbled. And as we said, those chances will only come at a premium. Mr. Marco has the ball ricochet off him.
And of course, I was thinking of Lukaku when I said Origi earlier. So I hope Inter fans and AC Milan fans both forgive me.
But the socials will be coming after you.
But I think Lukaku needs to get involved in the game, I think, Wes. That's why I think I was kind of thinking about him. Is he going to have that impact? Because he's kind of a slower base player to use compared to the other centre-forwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And it remains to be seen whether we have seen... Certainly try and find it out when we see a game plan screen, as I'm sure that we will at some point during this game, to find out whether Arda has elected to go with big-time Lautaro Martinez or whether he's elected to just stay with what he has already. Is Sabitzer, Martial, back to Sabitzer. Sabitzer has players over, back heels it. Bastoni comes away with it. Martial wins it back though. Here's Sabitzer. Sabitzer, good footwork, gets around DeMarco, ball into the Rashford! Brilliant header! Brilliant header for Marcus Rashford, and it is the big time as we suspected. What a header that is! That's an absolute thunderbolt.
And it's again that ball in, just got caught in possession, Wes, didn't he? And we've seen the earlier signs of that. Now, obviously, he's been put under pressure, but you just can't leave the ball in around those areas to be swung in like that.
Absolutely not. It's an absolutely wonderful ball in from that man against Sabitzer. But it's a bullet header for Marcus Rashford. Soars through the air, finds the back of the net.
It's a huge second goal. And
that look from Nexa, you don't really see it that often. That's that serious look, which sometimes you need it. And my word, what a finish it was from Nexa. 2-0 for Manchester United. Inter have to find a response here. There's Kalhanoglu. Nexa's now up to 8 goals. Wan-Bissaka clears it away. Up to Martial. Sabitzer, Martial. Still there is Martial.
Nexa is incredible in possession to just hold the ball for the last challenge to come in and then just recycle it the whole time, recycle that possession.
It's an expert at bait and switch. He will bait you into committing, and then he will strike. It's going to be Fred on the throw to Sabitzer. Brozovic will clear that one away. This potentially could be the last chance of the half here for Inter Milan. Skriniar arrives, dispossessed though. Martial's played it into Rashford. Rashford onside. Can Rashford score?
What a save.
A great save from Handanovic. Danger's not gone. Sabitzer looking to get the ball back in.
That could be costly, Wes.
Could be. And you saw Nexa rear back in his chair. He knows what that meant if he could have got a third opportunity there. Interestingly enough, no big-time Martinez.
He's kept it as the same. So that's an interesting choice, whereas you can see they've gone for Rashford in. Manchester United have gone for Rashford in. And has he made the difference? I mean, he could have got 2 there.
He certainly has made the difference.
That header was amazing there.
You can see from how he moves on the field, as you spoke to Cams in relation to Ben Yedder, you can certainly see in relation to Rashford how quick he is off the mark and how quick he is to move through those gears. As soon as that ball was got by Martial, as soon as Rashford was onto it, it looked like nobody was catching him.
And it would be interesting to see, you know, especially like with that Rashford card up front, it's just the fear you have of leaving him loose like that, because that could have been 3-0 there, Wes.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? As we said at the top of the show, you know, for those of you who are new to eFootball, you may not know the potency of a special version of Marcus Rashford. For fans or players of the community who have played this for a while, they will know how important he is as Correa moves his way through. Martinez! Lautaro gets one back. Pretty much
half-time, just after half-time, 2-1, Wes. That's huge.
It's absolutely a huge goal for Inter, and now questions will be asked of that Manchester United defence. It was a neat little move here, as we'll see on the replay. Correa drives to the byline, pulls it back to that penalty spot. Martinez left all alone, and Lautaro sweeps it home.
It's just a simple finish, really, but it's all about the build-up. You know, when you get there, just shoot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, that changes the complexion of the game once again. Inter and Arda has his 7th here now. They've certainly got something in between their teeth here. Here's Joaquin Correa. Brozovic cleared away by Bruno Fernandes. Rashford to Martial. Sabitzer. Sabitzer looking through, finds Fred, who's got through here. In towards Rashford again, and it's cleared by Dumfries.
Just the extra pass nearly kind of was too slow, wasn't it? The
Just
flight
a
of the ball was
touch
too
under
weak.
hit, and that was the difference there. Wan-Bissaka, Sabitzer to Fred. Fred's still there. He's got away from Bastoni. Martial, Bruno in towards Rashford. Tries to get away from Skriniar. Good challenge there by the defender. Cleared away. It's Lukaku, Lautaro, Correa. Good footwork from the Argentinian in towards Martinez. Has he got Lukaku in the middle? Wan-Bissaka comes across and covers. Correa keeps it in. Correa tries some neat footwork, trying to get around Lisandro Martinez. Has hustled off the ball, but it's too much
at the back
for
there.
the ref.
Just couldn't get the ball out and just had to fouled him. Luckily enough for Nexa there.
Yeah, he was a little bit in a cul-de-sac there. Had to get himself out of the jam. Martinez forward, looking for Martial. Flicks it on towards Sabitzer. Sabitzer has runners if he looks to use them. Nexa finds the ball into Martial. Martial to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes just outreached there, but Martial wins it back. But Handanovic will come out and claim it.
And there is chances, as we thought there would be.
Starting to open up a little bit more here. Brozovic to Kalanoglu. Brozovic, Martinez, Lukaku, across to Correa. Bad touch from Correa. Gets away with it though. Martinez goes through the back of him, nothing given. You can see the gestures there for the FC Inter players. They thought there was a penalty on there, but instead it's a counter-attack. Sabitzer, Fred, towards Bruno. Bruno with the super cancel. Barella will intercept it, and off we go again. Correa, back to Brozovic. Correa. Casemiro looking to try and put a foot on it. Instead it's dispossessed by Brozovic. Is Lisandro Martinez, and Brozovic too heavy-handed again.
Trying to maybe up the physicality a bit, not to let Nexa. He's so comfortable on the ball. You have to probably upset that a little bit, Wes, don't you?
Yeah, when he gets into that metronome type of style, you've got to break it. You've got to break it free. As Bastoni clears it forward, Lautaro. Casemiro wins it back. Bruno to Rashford. There's two potent danger men from Manchester United. One of them is Bruno. He found Rashford. Rashford in towards Fred. Fred, can he find the finish? He's still got it free. Sabitzer with the strike.
Sabitzer's getting on the ball so much, isn't he?
He's such a key player for Manchester United, especially within eFootball. Such a key player because he knits it together between attack and midfield.
Yeah. And he's got some really good player skills as well. You know, that's important to people that play Dream Team and stuff. They'll know what we're talking about when we say that. You know, some of these guys have got an excellent variety of skills and a blend of skills and stats. Couple of changes here, Wes.
Yeah, you can see there, you see Fred, and I believe that is the familiar figure of Zidane Iqbal, who is utilised so well by this Manchester United team. And on the flip side of things here, I believe it's Kalanoglu, who may have just been replaced.
I think it was.
Substitution on the field.
And it's normally, if my memory serves me, it's Amrit Mkhitaryan who normally comes on for
Like for like, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. And at this point, as you'll see there in the top left-hand corner, you are correct. It's Mkhitaryan on for Inter. We do need that fresh legs to maybe stem the tide here. Casemiro runs it out. It's 15 in-game minutes left here.
What do Inter do, Wes? Did he go for it?
I mean, they're in a position where they absolutely have to. Here's Zidane Iqbal, though. They need the ball back to do so. Here's Rashford. Rashford turns. It's that slickness of movement. Ball into the back post. It's scrambled. Clear. Only as far, though. It's bounced back towards Rashford. Double touch from Rashford. Goes to the controlled strike. It's cleared away again. It's those moments that you've got to make pay. Casemiro wins it back. Casemiro looked to go. He was looking to go all the way back to the goalkeeper there, I'm sure. Instead, the ball goes forward, and Handanovic will gobble that up there. It's going to be 10 in-game minutes left here. Manchester United 2, FC Inter 1. As Inter look to try and find themselves.
Strong defending again.
Goals. Big defending indeed. It needs to be at this level, at this time in the game. Yeah. You have to be committed, but you have to be committed in the right way. You overcommit, you can cause gaps. Here's Correa. Arda can't find a way through here.
We're seeing again, Wes, the role, that DMF. I know I'm going to keep saying it.
It's
Casemiro is doing unbelievable work off the ball there as well. Look at him again. He's just everywhere.
It's there to just break up play. That's literally where players are looking for. Rashford, beautiful crossfield, finds Sabitzer. Sabitzer tries to get away from DeMarco. He does so successfully for a moment. He's looking for a runner. He's found Bruno Fernandes, who is onside here. Bruno into the box looking for Zan Iqbal. Sabitzer wins it back again here. Will Nexa urge on the side of caution here? Will he try and kill the game, or will he look to try and get a third goal here? As Casemiro goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. It's game management.
Yeah, it is. It's part of it.
It's not pretty, but it will be effective as De Gea goes forward. It's an offside given there.
Yeah, a late call, but the right call.
Definitely the right call there.
You can see the outlet that Manchester United have with Rashford and Martial up front.
It makes such a difference. It makes such a difference to the team. Two added minutes here. Varane beats Lukaku. DeMarco puts it forward. This will be the last throws of the game here as Sabitzer looks to run down the clock, but he's played a beautiful crossfield ball, finds Rashford, who's got away from his defender here. It's Marcus Rashford. Can he go all the way? Oh, it's a big save from Handanovic. Ball's not cleared though. Martial! And there is going to be the last action. The final whistle has gone. It is Nexa 2, Arda 1. And Manchester United have their first 3 points of the day on the board.
Big win, Wes. Big win. Rashford was a thorn in Arda's side all game there. Just to have that outlet. What Manchester United were doing, I mean, I know we're simplifying it here, but winning the ball back with Casemiro, hitting him on the break, and then they had Rashford and Sabitzer up front.
Yeah.
Very impressed with Sabitzer throughout this whole campaign, Wes. He's just been... It's kind of a bit of a hero for Manchester United boys here.
He's been their unintentional talisman. It really has, because it's seemingly the case of that Sabitzer is the link. He's that link in this formation and the way they have Sabitzer deployed. He's the link between attack and defence. It's a bullet header from Rashford.
It is. I mean, that's
absolutely phenomenal header. But you look at him as the link. He's the guy that puts that attack and defence together. And sometimes having somebody up front that isn't necessarily a forward, but more so a second striker or a shadow striker. Sometimes it is better to have those types of players there because they can find those passes that necessarily the forwards might not necessarily find.
Yeah, and also as well, like, you know from playing yourself as well, Wes, that like all eyes are on Rashford there. All eyes are on Martial, so Sabitzer kind of popping into those pockets of space. It's the kind of visual thing of it's like, all right, we don't need to worry too much, and then bang, he scores a lovely goal.
He's that unassuming, well, we can leave him there, he's not going to do anything. And then all of a sudden he pops up, he's got the goal and an assist in one game. A word on Inter there. They are just seemingly not finding their feet.
Yeah.
They are seemingly not got themselves comfortable with this team. Now, if there is, again, we talked about Arda in terms of points getter for this team. If there's a person who I would say who has been unlucky, and I never like to use that in esports, person who has been unlucky has been Merriman.
Yeah.
Because on the stat sheet it says, yeah, he's lost, what, 4 games?
4 games, yeah.
But the last 3 games have all been last-minute winners or last-minute equalisers or last-minute
he
goals.
has been a little unlucky,
to not have points on the board, I think is a shame. I think he's maybe 6th or 7th on the goal-scoring charts.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that he has got the ability to put the goals there. The issue is, of course, if you look at the left side of your screens there, you'll notice that it's Nexa and Kilser that you can see in shot, which means that the man in the hot seat is Lotfi.
Yeah.
And again, Lotfi as a historical figure within esports, within eFootball, has been there and done it. And is continually doing it. And he's continually finding his way with this team. Now, as we have spoken to United at length, they are delighted to have Rashford aboard from a big-time perspective.
Card.
It's a massive card for them because they know for the stats that they want from their Rashford, he's so much better than what they already had.
Yeah.
So we'll no doubt see that again come to prominence here. But it's interesting now to see, do Inter go, we see there straight away kick off there. It's Lautaro Martinez, good save from De Gea. Alanoglu is trying to mop it up there, and that's almost twice now we've been caught unawares by just introducing the game.
Not even letting us sit down.
They certainly have not. As Barrett driven across the box and cleared away
Shaw's
again.
been drafted in for this game, you can see there.
Merriman not looking to waste any time here. You've got to be careful of those bear traps that Lotfi leaves laying around this field.
And as you said, Wes, there, an interesting stat with Merriman. He's had 20 shots. That's 21 there now in the league so far. So is he going to rue those chances that he's missed, not just in this match day? He is, as you said, he's a bit unlucky, hasn't he?
Certainly has. He might be able to turn that luck on its head, though. Çalhanoğlu, sadly the aggressor of the two in the very early going here is Inter. Merriman will be looking to maybe shake that tag off of him in terms of being goals but not points. There's Mkhitaryan. Varane intercepts it. Comes back to David De Gea. Rashford. It's Bruno Fernandes. Sabitzer. Cleared away by Gozens. It's Brozovic. Brozovic goes for the long one forward. Looks for Martinez. It's a neat pass back there to David De Gea. Lotfi not got her going here yet. All the pressure is coming the way of FC Inter, which will be a delight to their fandom. But it may only take one opportunity here. Is Sabitzer. Gozens intercepts it. Down the line to Barella. To Calhanoglu. Brozovic. Martinez. Mkhitaryan. Interestingly, no Lukaku in the starting lineup for Merriman. It's Luke Shaw. Shaw into Martial. Martial looking to shape. Finds Fernandes. Finds Sabitzer back into Fernandes! It's off the post!
We were celebrating there. The boys were celebrating there nearly.
That very much falls into the category of half the ground thought that was in. Mkhitaryan goes flying forward though. Here's Calhanoglu. Flicks it onto Lautaro. Barella. Back towards Lautaro, looking back for Barella. Bruno Fernandes will clear it away. Martial. Gagliardini. Barella. Just breaking down the midfield there again. Rashford to Martial. Steven de Vrij. Take that away. Brozovic.
Casemiro again, Wes.
Casemiro, he's been imperious.
He's a destroyer there in midfield.
He's been so good. As he has been for so many match days for this Manchester United side. Here's Mkhitaryan forward. Launched forward again there. Rashford trying to flick that down. De Vrij. Dumfries. Gagliardini. Lautaro Martinez. Brozovic. Lautaro Martinez. Barella. Goes down the line here. Finds Mkhitaryan, who is onside. Tries to play the ball across and wins a corner.
I tell you, Merriman has settled
promising.
well, hasn't
it's
he?
A promising start from Inter.
Yeah,
really
Inter
is.
Really settled, Wes. Lotfi just hasn't been able to get on the ball, like, or hold any bit of possession at the moment.
Skriniar tries to win the header and flick that one on. So it's going to be Dumfries. Mkhitaryan, Barella. Luke Shaw will clear. But it has been pretty much all Inter here. But now we've got this prospect of a Manchester United counter-attack here. Sabitzer. Barella intercepts it and clears it away. Shaw up against Mkhitaryan. I think that's going to go out, is it? Nope,
no,
they're going to recover it, I think.
A bit of mind games.
A little bit, yeah, it's a little bit of I won't run all the way. But it's been a fairly balanced affair between Lotfi and between Merriman. It's been a very balanced affair. It's Mkhitaryan. Plays it long over the top there. Looks for Calhanoglu. Looks to take it down and collision in the box. And it's solid defending indeed. Fred to Rashford. Rashford to Martial. Martial, neat little back heel, looking for Rashford again. Instead, it's cleared away by FC Inter. Gagliardini. Plays for to Brozovic. Lautaro. Calhanoglu trying to find an inroad here. Still retain the ball as the Turk, but he can't find a way through. It's Barella. Now it's Calhanoglu again, but Bruno Fernandes comes back and takes that one away.
This is all Inter at the moment, isn't it, Wes?
It is. He really has settled into an all-Inter. Lotfi has not put any rubber to the road as yet, but as we know all too well from a game of eFootball, you can be winning 1 minute or drawing 1 minute and feel like you're in control. And the next minute, one goal goes in, it changes the whole complexion.
I think you just want to get in at the half and just reassess.
And that is it, certainly.
What's he going to do? Like, he's going to keep this way. I mean, it's surely a matter of when and not if Inter or, because I do think that they're on top. Possession stats, everything else doesn't look as much as it is in terms of Inter dominating. You can see the successful passes there is a big discrepancy.
Well, if it was a boxing fight at this point in time, if you wanted to separate the two, it'd be Inter on points. It literally would be, because
that's a great
they've certainly been the aggressor in the two. But I think Lotfi has got to find something more. But you know, as we say about these players, these are some of the best eFootball players on the planet.
Yeah.
These lot will have that in reserve. And by that I mean all of these players. You will find that they will summon up pieces of brilliance when you least expect it, as Fred outside of the foot cross.
And Laffy is someone as well that he can kind of be slow to start in terms of he doesn't really panic too much.
No, he certainly doesn't, and he doesn't let you in emotionally either. He's certainly very kind of cold when it comes to when you're on the controls. As Gagliardini wins that back for FC Inter. Ball across to Barella. Here's Lautaro. Mkhitaryan. Looking forward, and instead it's Luke Shaw that's got him on lockdown.
Bruno's having a lot of work being done in the middle of the pitch as well,
certainly
bringing the ball forward.
Certainly has to run a long way to go. Here's Fred. There's a ricochet there. It's fortunate for United. Here's Rashford. Quick feet of him, but Dumfries will clear that away. But Fred will nonchalantly knock that on. Instead, it's gone towards Mkhitaryan, and Lisandro Martinez wins it back again. Here's Rashford.
He's waiting for runs.
Certainly is waiting for runs there. Bruno Fernandes, Fred, Rashford. Rashford tried to shape brilliantly, goes to the defenders, double touch. Brilliant finish from Rashford. That is a fantastic finish.
Oh my God, that's spectacular. Well, we talked about it, Wes. One chance, boom, that's it. That's all you get, and that's what he does best. Is Lotfi. He doesn't get too high. Didn't even celebrate it. I mean, I was celebrating just a beautiful goal, so I didn't see. But that
it's
is
the way he takes this touch in. He takes it through two defenders. Brilliant touch. Takes the double touch. Opens up that tiny bit of a shot lane, and that is all he needed. As we said, you could be in the ascendancy. You can be looking like you should be winning a game. It takes one moment, and that was the killer touch there from Marcus Rashford. And as we said, it's that big time making the difference again.
Rashford has looked dangerous. It's that 1-2 punch of Rashford or Martial. You have to watch both of them going forward if you're defending them. So it's always there.
Certainly is. And Lotfi just moving on to 7 goals in the competition. It's not really
ticking along though, isn't he?
He's ticking. Yeah, it's unassumingly ticking along. It's you know, certainly when we look towards the business end of this tournament, when it then turns into a best-of-3 formation, as we see Calhanoglu stunning cross over. Martinez ricochets, could have gone anywhere for his corner.
Could have come out and hit us.
But these players who are unassuming at this point in time, when it then starts to become the best-of-3 format, as we'll see in the knockout stages, that's when that starts to really come to the fore. Martinez onside. Oh, he's flashed one wide.
That is a huge miss. I don't know, Wes,
he had so much time.
He did. He had nearly too much time to think, hadn't he?
Spun on the turn, and instead it's gone flying wide. And Merriman will be ruining that opportunity plenty. Here's Rashford, though, down the other end for Manchester United. Can they pull off another victory into the bank here, or will Inter find their shooting boots? It's Bruno Fernandes to Fred. Fred to Rashford. Martial to Rashford. Such as the frequency of him finding Rashford, you genuinely believe that that's where the ball is going to go every single time. There's Fred. Just looking down the line for Bruno Fernandes. Dumfries will clear it away though. Brozovic. Mkhitaryan. Good block away by Rafael Varane.
So Bitzer's been quiet in this game, but it's more kind of more subdued game, I think.
Certainly something you have to keep your eye on.
Yeah.
Certainly, with 20 in-game minutes left, there's not long left here. That time will tick down. The more this ball is in play, the quicker that ball or that time will tick down.
We might see a sub or two now as well, Wes, because there's a few tired bodies out there.
There certainly might be. As Martial looks to try and find his way in, Skriniar will clear it. Anywhere will do.
That's my style of defending, Wes, when I'm at home playing. With every ball that comes into my possession.
I think it's the style of a lot of players at home, myself included. Would be anywhere will do. If it can find out of the stadium, even better. If it takes them about 10 minutes to recover the ball, fantastic.
Look, it's a souvenir for someone in the crowd.
Yeah,
that's
I'm sure.
the main thing, you know.
I'm sure. As we'll see, interestingly, the 2 changes that are coming in here. Correa is now on.
And Lautaro big time is being used by Merriman in this formation, which is an interesting change from the last one. I think Luke Shaw's a different age as well with United.
Yeah, so you can see there the differences between, not only are the players obviously all part of the same team, they'll have their own differences they want to do with their play styles. They will have their own little intricacies. This one, certainly with a big time Lautaro Martinez, that one there is pretty crucial because you want to get him into the game. And at the moment, there was that one opportunity with Lazaro when he was all alone.
Right there. I think the ball just, you know, he's shooting it from with his back to the goal. When
Yeah, and that was the difficulty.
I hope you see it back again, because
had he have shaped in a different way, or had he been facing the goal, I think you're looking at a goal there. But
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Looking at, you'll see the changes here in little individual tactics, you'll see.
But look, Laffy hasn't really hit the heights that he, you know, we'd used to see him hitting. He's consistent, but it's one moment of magic, and that's what separates these players at the top level, really.
But sometimes that's all that's required, especially in this level, especially at this moment as well. It's going to be Bruno Fernandes on the corner. How's he going to look to deliver this one?
Knock on to Varane.
Certainly looks like you called it perfectly. Martial! 2-0!
You could see it, and it's very hard to stop it. You could see it, Wes, coming, and look, I've conceded a lot like that as well myself, but that is just unfortunate, just from the dead ball. And it is that man Martial again. It's not Rashford this time, but lovely ball in. That's work. They've worked on that. Laffy's definitely worked on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's timed to perfection with the run.
I was going to say, that's something that I would be using at home. It's a near post flick on, because once that second ball happens, that's where that chaos kind of comes in. It's who can react the quickest. Can you react with your defender, or is the opponent going to react and score? And in this instance, it was Martial.
We saw it.
Again,
celebration there from Laffy as well, Wes.
I think he knows how important that goal might just be in the grand scheme of things here. Gagliardini given away to Bruno Fernandes. It's Victor Lindelof forward looking for Martial. Goalkeeper has Kane, and he got there, did Handanovic.
Just about. Laffy's in the perfect spot now to just soak up the pressure, Wes, and just get out of this one with all points.
Absolutely. I think that will be the ask from him. Is Lindelof forward towards Martial. It's Sabitzer. Inter just trying to find a way here, just to have something to shout about here. Is Lukaku up against Luke Shaw. And Lukaku's found a way around. Çalhanoğlu into the box, Lindelof for the clearance. And this rear card from Manchester United proving to pay dividends once again. Iqbal forward, looking for Martial, looks for the flick on. Skriniar intercepts it, finds Correa. Can Inter put a little bit of doubt in here for the last final minutes? Lukaku with the strike!
Finish! Let it run through the legs, Wes, and just smacked it into the bottom corner.
The Belgian has the answer, and Inter have a goal, and now 5 in-game minutes left here.
There's still time.
There is still time on the clock.
I was just about to say, it just kind of went a bit quiet there for a second, and then it's after exploding again.
Absolutely, and that's it. These moments can be quiet, and everything will be, oh, it's not that dangerous. No, ball goes through the neat little dummy, takes it and gets that shot lane. It's that lane where you need to have a clear sight at goal, so you don't, you know, it doesn't cannon into a defender. It doesn't take a deflection off your own player. Instead, finds that brilliant ball into the bottom corner.
Finish, isn't it? We've seen a few of those curled shots into the bottom corner, Wes, and I think that's something that Miraman will look for.
Yeah, that was a big, big goal indeed. And now, it promotes that question of where do we go from here? Last 5 minutes of a game. If you're sat at home and you're wondering about what would you do? First of all, what would you do, Barry?
I'm shutting up shop. You know, I think that's what I would probably do, Wes, because you can see Lotfi straight away, right? He's into the tactics, and this is where a bit of know-how comes in. This is where their experience comes in. That Lotfi's been here before. He's seen it all before. He knows what works, what doesn't work. He knows he's in a position, right? He's still there, 2-1. He's still going to get all the full points with this match if he can just see it out for 90 minutes. And I think that he will if he can just kind of keep the ball a little bit on the ball, a bit more, a bit possession. We can see Merriman Wes. He's just thrown a Hail Mary at it here. This is the Hail Mary formation, really.
Yeah, it's throw the ball forward and hope that you can get a knockdown, or hope you can just cause some chaos.
Some bit of magic in the box, maybe, or somebody will get on the end of something.
And that's the hope. That's the hope that Inter will have here. They will have that hope that somewhere and somehow that this goal or this game will have one more goal in it for them.
I think so.
But they need the ball first.
They do.
And that's the problem. If you're Manchester United, don't surrender the ball. I mean, we say that now, and Inter now have a chance here. Is Lukaku. And a corner to Çalhanoğlu. And Lisandro Martinez clears it away. De Vrij forward to Skriniar. into have time on the clock. They have one more opportunity at least in them. It's towards Lautaro Martinez. It's a shot in anger, and it's gone for a corner though.
Just a flash, that shot really, wasn't it? It just bopped up to him, and he just basically just smacked it. That could have went anywhere as well, Wes. That's the thing. You know, you probably were best to shoot there because it was kind of on the half volley or the
could have cannoned anyway. Yeah. But as such, it's a corner. You know, Miriam knows that could have gone his way.
I think the thing is as well, like when you get chances like that, it's very hard to be. It's very hard.
You can't beat yourself up about it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That's what you need to not do here. But ball's going to go into the box here. 4 minutes added on by the referee, and that is a minimum of 4. Ball into the box. Skriniar right towards Lautaro Martinez. Ball still there. But Martinez!
Wow.
Finally, he finds a last-minute goal of his own.
We talked a bit about chaos, Wes. You mentioned it. Chaos. Something. Just throw it in the box and see what happens. Throw on the Hail Mary formation, and that could be a huge goal in the grand scheme of things for Inter to get a few points on the board. 2-2 Wes with minutes left.
He has been the victim of 3 last-minute winners against him. He now finds a last-minute equaliser of his own.
A little bit of justice maybe, or
a little bit, but certainly he was the first one to react.
Yeah,
he was the first one to react in the box. That ball fell to Lindelof. He then managed to get the ball back from Martinez, and instead he finds the finish. It's a brilliant piece of work because, as you said, it comes from the tactic. It comes from just throwing players forward
just took
and
a chance.
hoping.
And maybe, I think, what he's deserved in terms of he's been knocking at the door. I think Lofty has been very, very settled since he got the 2-1 up. But when you are throwing that many attackers and you get a set ball, I think that was the only way that a goal was going to come.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If that's fair to say.
Absolutely, I think so, because I think that brick wall that is there, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, of Lindelof, Varane, Lissandro Martinez and Luke Shaw, with Casemiro backing them up in midfield, that is incredibly hard to navigate around because there's only so many routes you can go.
Yeah.
You can't really go up against Luke Shaw because the pace is there. You can't really go up against the physicality because Varane's there. You can't really go up against the physicality because Lindelof's there.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've got to find an entry point. And if it's set pieces that are the undoing, then you aim to get set pieces. You play to your strengths and your opponent's weaknesses.
Yeah, I agree. But again, it's something as well for Laffy and the United lads there. Like if Laffy, and I'm sure the lads are in his ear saying, look, it's a set piece. No, you know, you can't, like, what can you really, you know what I mean? It's kind of the ball comes in, it ricochets, and then it just falls to him. Now, he took it well, but I think Laffy will be looking at this and thinking, right, okay, let's just see this out, and it's all to play for the third game.
Well, now, there's still the small moment of injury time still left to play here. And we have seen goals aplenty that have come from situations here. And, you know, we have seen goals before. There's Iqbal. Luke Shaw, goal number 10 for Merriman, left side of your screen. Shaw goes forward, looking for a player there. DeMarco smartly plays it back to Handanovic. And will he play for the point? I think that's essentially what he's going to look for here. Well, the ball's going to go forward. You never know. He might try and take all 3. Martinez, Lukaku, in towards Catalano. Oh, he's looking across at Correa. And you heard the audible groans as it goes 2-2.
Should he have shot Wes? That's the question he'll be asking himself, but
we will never know, which is the dangerous part of eFootball. And they only came in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Well, Lukaku must have been punishing me for making the mistake of calling him Origi at the start, so he had to leave his mark on the match here. And,
he was like that was a case of mistaken identity. I'm gonna take that annoyance out on you. But this here, again, it's just reacting first to Lindelof. He was flat-footed.
Yeah, he was flat-footed at the back. It's just an unfortunate bounce off Lindelof when it comes back out. More like, was it? Do you think he got what he deserved towards the end? Or was a 2-2 draw a fair result?
I think so. I think the way that he worked to get that opportunity, and you could see that he made those tactical switches to get himself that opportunity.
Yeah,
I think that was deserved.
Yeah,
that was a deserved point. A lot of people will be disappointed.
Yeah,
he was 2 goals up, then goes to 2-2. Be disappointed with that, but from a Manchester United perspective, it's still a point. So the reality is that actually you'd still think that Manchester United are in a pretty good place here, because I think looking at, in terms of the tables and the standings, we do say this all the time about the points and how it impacts these two teams. And you look there, Manchester United now sitting on 22 points. They're level now with Bayern in terms of their points, and they are now 6 points ahead of Monaco. So in terms of pointage. And again, if results don't really go, results don't go their way later on with AC Milan, they're playing Roma, they are still going to be top 4.
Yeah.
At the end of this game. So it's then going to be a case now of, as we see the two players now sit down for these games, it's now going to be El Matador, who we have known for so long and so well.
Yeah.
In terms of almost the German superhero within esports. He's a veteran against Kilzier, who is a former league MVP.
Yeah.
And that's what excites me a lot about these players, is because, as we say, looking at the progression of these players and seeing where these players are developing and where they're going and how they're performing. I think even looking at the kind of the body languages we can see, they still look relatively relaxed, Manchester United. They look relatively cool with themselves. I think Inter are still a little bit tense, a little bit kind of.
It's hard when you're not. It's hard when you're not winning. You know what I mean? Like, draws are great and all, and I think for a team like Barcelona or even for Manchester United, there, once you have a nice, spread of points, you can kind of take your points when they come and take your 1 point, take your 4 points on a match day. But I think for Inter, they would have been looking for more today. So let's see what El Matador can do. I mean, no one questions these guys' talents. No one questions these guys' skills. It just depends whether it falls from on the day, really, Wes, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And we, as much as we can say about the capabilities of the teams, we can say about the capabilities of the players controlling those teams. The reality is that there is obviously there is some luck involved here. Like, those ricochets and that moment that Merriman had in that game. Yes, it come from a flick on from a corner and a fortuitous ricochet. But sometimes you have to play for those moments, and sometimes, as the old adage goes, you have to create your own luck.
Yeah, and put the ball in. Like, that's what it was. Throw the ball in there and see what happens sometimes is a great tactic to have. If you've got somebody like Lukaku for Inter, or you've got somebody like Rashford, big-time Rashford up front, obviously. I will question, though, whether you saw in the second game there was where Martinez was used, the big-time epic Martinez.
Did he make the difference?
Yeah, did he make a difference? Because we saw Rashford has made a difference through in the 2 games now. And we saw in the earlier game with Barcelona, they didn't use Gavi. And we saw Ben Yedder make a difference. I'm just thinking now, is that something that will, maybe in the future, in another match day?
Well, certainly now the point. You can certainly point to it now and go, well, okay, well, we saw that one team who didn't use it have only ended up with 4 points. But then you can tangibly see the differences that those other players have made for those teams. Ben Yedder, Rashford, Lautaro, respectively, have made differences to these teams. And you can see the differences when watching them as well.
You can, yeah.
You really can. And I think Martinez certainly was one there because, again, Martinez had that opportunity for Merriman.
Yeah.
Where it didn't work out because he hit it on the spin, whereas when he's got an opportunity in front of goal, he pops it home.
Yeah,
so
that's the difference, I suppose.
And I think you could certainly see from the early going as well with Merriman's play style, that certainly benefited having Lautaro in the team.
Yeah, and it's a thing as well that, like, I think about it as just like, the average person that's playing, right? When you're coming up against big time cards and stuff, or cards that are different versions, it kind of puts a psychological thing into your head. I need to, like I was saying earlier to you with Sabitzer, you're kind of looking for the danger man in the team, right? Whether that's your Rashford, whether it's your Martinez for Inter, whoever. So it is kind of a psychological thing as well for your opponent, that they need to maybe stick a little tighter, like maybe Inter stuck a little too tight to Rashford because of that fear, and then it just comes back where he actually blows past them.
You game plan for one element of danger and then 2 or 3 other elements then appear. It's, yes, you can double up and you can, not to use a different sport, but for example in basketball you can run double teams. You can do isolation plays, and it's the same here. You can isolate a player, you can double team them, but then that will leave another player open. And especially at this level with the team that United have, as we mentioned already, if you're stopping Rashford, you're leaving Martial. If you stop Martial, then you need to stop Sabitzer. If you stop Sabitzer, you've also then got to stop Bruno. It's the same with Inter as well. If you stop Lautaro, you've got Lukaku, you've got Correa, you've got Mkhitaryan, you've got Çalhanoğlu, you've got Barella who can drive forward. There's all of those elements.
There's a lot of good players in each squad, and I think it's all about just getting. If you can get on top and play the way you want to play, I think that's nearly more important than stopping your opponent from playing. So that's kind of something that I would look at, is that, like, if I can go out and even if I go a goal down, Wes, right, which I'm sure a lot of these lads kind of plan for, not in a defeatist type way, but that they plan, right, okay, what's my game plan here if I go down a goal in the first 20 minutes? Which we saw in this game. You're not out of it. You can still kind of rejig things and in the last kick of the game get an equaliser like we saw.
I mean, that moment there where Bruno's hit the post, that easily could have been a Manchester United victory had that gone in. As you'll see there, Rashford pops that one home.
I mean, that's a serious goal.
He's certainly been making a lot of the difference for these players. They certainly have. But they're just, you can see there though, you can see that was the intake of breath of going, we're going to be suffering the same fate again. That Martinez chance. I mean, you can see El Matador had his head in his hands.
We couldn't believe it. It was just like, oh my days.
And then this, you even called it. You even literally called when that ball's going into Varane. You know what that's
I've
the
been on
that's
the receiving end of a few of those myself, so I knew that it was going to be targeted. But that's the thing. It's a tactic, and Lukaku again. I said that he was a bit slow, but that was a beautiful little sharp turn and finish.
Sharp turn and finish, and that really provided the platform for Merriman to build on. Not only point that as a point, as you talk about substitutes, Lukaku was not actually full level. That's just an 82 rated Lukaku. So as we say about their team strengths and their team levels, they've got to somehow manage all of these aspirations and those aspects of the team. And of course, Lautaro Martinez, he was worth his weight in gold at that point. It got Merriman the point, and it got him across the line.
A little smile there at the end as well with that goal, because I think he probably felt that he was knocking on the door, as he has been throughout this competition, without the eFootball Championship Pro. He has been knocking, as have Inter, but sometimes the ball just doesn't fall for you. Sometimes you don't get the chances that your play deserves. And again, taking that away from Manchester United, they're a serious outfit as well, these three lads. They're seriously talented, and they look so calm all the time.
The thing is, you look at the teams that are in the competition, you look at the players that are on show for that competition, or for this competition. There isn't such a thing as an easy game. There really isn't.
Well, as we're seeing, Wes, that's the thing. Somebody looking in on this and thinking, right, Inter are bottom. Manchester United have got a good few points on the board. This is going to be, maybe one of the easier match days for Manchester United, for the average person thinking that. But that's not the way it goes, because these guys are so talented that anything can happen on any given day.
Absolutely. I mean, you'll see there, we talked about big times at length already.
They're back in.
Both are employed for both Kilzu and for El Matador.
Kilzu is warming up the hands, the
and
wrists. He's getting limbered up.
And this realistically for Inter could be a pretty big result. Yes, it might not necessarily move them, and it certainly won't move them off the foot of the table, but it could potentially close the gap if they can find a victory here. Of course, Manchester United will be looking to try and leapfrog Bayern Munich with a victory here, as we see Martial, who's just offside from the start of the game here.
That would have been the quickest goal of the game.
And you can certainly see, you can certainly see from all of these games that we've had so far, it's a goal or two either way. It's not, and it's not just for Manchester United versus Inter, but also for the Barcelona-Monaco game. It's one goal here or there, and it's as we said, it's moments it's coming down to. As we see, FC Inter have a throw in. opposition
Casemiro just
territory.
threw people out of his way there.
Has just bullied them like the Hulk, has taken it away from them, has found Martial, but De Vrij gets the right side of him, and Handanovic will clear that away. Mkhitaryan. Here's Fred, Casemiro, Fred, Martial, Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes looking back forwards for Martial. It's a big save from Handanovic. Needed to be made. Rashford to Fred. Good footwork from the Brazilian. Just can't get the ball through and clear into the box.
An early warning shot, Wes, there.
Early signs, very much indeed. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Gagliardini. Forward to Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan spots the run, and Varane's misstepped here. It's Lautaro Martinez onside, plays it across Calhanoglu!
What a goal, what a counter, and it's just that one ball through again. I think he tried to play the offside trap. We'll have to go back and look at it, Wes. It happened so quickly, but the defence was caught so flat at the back there, which is interesting in this early stage, but just a little tap across and a little tap in.
There was well, certainly looking at it, Varane misstepped, and it was that misstep and the run. We'll watch it back again here. Varane's on his way back. Varane, it's that tiny misstep.
Tiny one.
But again, it's timing of the pass from El Matador.
Yeah.
It's the easiest goal you're going to see scored today. Tiny roll across, and Hakan Calhanoglu will be there to swipe it home and say thank you very much.
Just powers it home.
Powers it home for 1-0.
Matador is a brilliant start for him because he had that early scare, we just talked about it, and that could have rocked him a little bit. But he looks, maybe he'll open up a bit now and play a bit more free.
Yeah, certainly, but again, as we know from Killsu and his exploits here, he will know just how to find a way through if there is a way to be found. It's Casemiro to Fred, to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes, double touch, takes it around the corner. Fernandes, good save from Handanovic. Sabitzer, squeaked it home.
Wes, we had everything in that clip. We had manual goalkeeping, we double touch into a shot, and we had the rebound follow-up then as well, where I didn't think he'd shoot from that angle, but he just got there quicker than the goalkeeper could get down at that near post. One apiece, and this could be an exciting one now, Wes. 13 minutes on the clock, one each.
It's that man again, Marcel Sabitzer.
Yeah,
he has been a problem for everyone. But as we'll see there, it's ball retention, it's ball recovery, and again, it's ball movement at the right time there. Neat double touch, a good little manual save from Handanovic. Handanovic does not get back up on time to get the ball away from his near post, and it's Marcel Sabitzer, the Austrian, sweeps it home.
Beautiful double touch though to initially create that chance, wasn't it?
You see there, arrowed into the near post.
Just crept in, Wes. And that's all you need to do sometimes, is just shoot and just see where it goes, Because if you took a touch on that, the chance is gone. Yeah,
the rebounds are costly, especially at this level, as Rashford looks to play his way through. De Vrij had a missed kick there. Here's Martial, Killsu up to 7 goals himself. And Matador, as we said, was a signing in the middle of this season. So don't be mistaken for the fact of only 2 goals scored for the German. Is Fred. Rashford looks to play it through to Martial. Let's try and get the other side of Skriniar. Instead it is cleared away. Sabitzer. Fred. Martial. Martial puts the stop and puts the brakes on. Goes and takes it away though.
Killsu was looking to put him under savage pressure. Again, was straight from the reset.
He certainly. Rashford finds a beautiful deep through ball. Fred through the legs.
Wes, that's unfortunate for, you would say, El Matador, but Fred of all people to get into that position, that box-to-box role that he likes to play, just happens to find himself onto the end of that. Bit of fortune with through the legs of the keeper, but sometimes they can go in and sometimes they can't.
They won't care a jot.
No.
Killsu will not care. Manchester United will not care. It's great ball movement here, though, when you look at it. Brilliant ball here. Fantastic back heel.
Excellent back heel. It's for Rashford again.
Exquisite back heel. And it's Marcus Rashford, as you said, once again, proving the difference maker.
He has been the difference maker, I think, for this United squad. And I think they knew that they were going to be getting a big boost to their squad this match day. I think they've used it to full effect.
They have
so
certainly.
Far from what we've seen, Wes.
They have certainly indeed have used it to aplomb. Again, as we know, being well rooted within the eFootball community, we know how much players at home love a big time, or at least an epic card of Marcus Rashford's quality. And this is a perfect advert for it.
Well, he is, I tell you, he is the man at the moment, I think, for this. And a lot of people, anyone that I've talked to, it's been Gabby and Rashford. They're the two boys, they're the two cars that people want, you know, and you're seeing it, as you said, Wes, excellently there. This is the difference that they can make sometimes, is that, you know, you have that thing as well, that you are going to have that extra boost to your players. And then they're just so consistent on the pitch all the time, you know, with their player skills, their, you know, play styles, everything.
Absolutely. Interestingly as well, Manchester United just creeping into that top 10 of goals scored. There was 3 of them, all on 8. And we'll find out at the end of this game, and again, the end of this matchup, as to who will take the crown from internally between Manchester United's players, because I don't think either one of them want to be giving that up. Rashford to Fernandes, looking to roll it back through for Rashford, and it is cleared away. But it certainly adds a potent weapon to this Manchester United side.
Yeah, of course it does. I mean, it's just even just having that two-pronged attack of Martial and Rashford in the basic squad, and then you throw in a special card like this in the hands of these guys especially, but even for anyone at home, you are gonna get the benefit of these cards.
Yeah, great through ball from Fred onto that Rashford once more. Rashford in towards Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes, Sabitzer! It's there again! United make it 3-1.
Well, Wes, you called him the hero of the squad, the unsung hero of the squad. He's back at it again with 2 goals today. Kilzu in the driving seat now. And that puts them in a very strong position, Wes. 3-1 up. Bit of distance between the two teams now. Again, Rashford is there again. We're going to keep repeating this guy. He's just the pass in.
It's Rashford and Sabitzer.
Yeah.
Those seemingly are the 2 go-to weapons for this Manchester United side.
And again, Bruno's been an excellent architect.
Bruno's been fantastic to complement as well. You know, again, you look at those players that they have around, it feels as though that this Manchester United side now have the players to complement those players.
I agree. I think he was the missing link, that Rashford, to have that kind of like powerful card up front to be able to do damage.
Certainly has been. Here's Sabitzer. 9 goals now for Kilzu. He now takes the internal lead in Manchester United's terrible trio. And he's starting to creep up that goal table.
A lot of people are going to be looking at Sabitzer after today.
Certainly so. They certainly will, as Brozovic looks to try and play the ball in. De Gea will take that clear. Quite. If the result does stay the same, as we said already, they will leapfrog for the moment Bayern Munich and will put themselves into that top 3. 25
points, Wes. They'll be tied with Arsenal.
And of course,
obviously Arsenal have to play,
and Arsenal and Bayern are up next after the conclusion of this game. So I'm sure Manchester United will not be rushing off, and instead they'll be looking at that fixture with great intrigue.
Definitely. I mean, it's just a huge performance so far from Kilzu. He looks so locked in there, as you see in the bottom of the screen.
Zeroed in. When he gets into that mode, he's very hard to shake out. Is Sabitzer looking for Bruno Fernandes? But that's what we talk about, the players and having that kind of locked in mentality. Once you get into that tunnel, once you get out of that tunnel, it is game on.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're so focused on what they have to achieve. Here's Bruno Fernandes, Sabitzer to Fred, back towards Sabitzer. Sabitzer rolls it through. Bruno Fernandes, the stinking to the back post from Rashford, off the bar.
He's offside. He's offside, Wes. Just
offside.
That would have been curtains, I think, Wes.
That just goes to show how observant we are on the desk here as fans of eFootball. If you hear a whistle before the ball's kicked, you know that it's already an offside. But as you'll see there, that is a let-off there for FC Inter, and they will potentially go in at the break. 3-1 down, unless there is a chance here. Ball will be cleared away by Rafael Varane. 3-1.
And I would say an unlikely goal scorer in Fred, but it just shows the squad
out of nowhere.
quality.
Yeah, I think that if you're looking at it, that's Fred's first goal of the season, probably, for these guys playing eFootball. It's normally Rashford, as we said already, Martial, Sabitzer, are those 3 potent kind of weapons. You also, of course, have Bruno as well.
And I think for everyone at home as well, like, you've got that classic formation of that 3-man midfield that a lot of the teams use now in real football as well. As on eFootball, you've got your DMF, which is going to be an anchorman, Wes, or your box-to-box. It's going to cover a lot of ground, or a destroyer-type role. And then you've also got Fred, who's mopping up everything. And you see, the biggest problem I think that Inter are having, right, is that there just seem to be kind of getting pushed forward from Casemiro and Fred. And Fred or Casemiro are just always dominating midfield there. So we've seen that pattern kind of between games in this match day so far. And we saw it in the earlier game as well with Sergio Busquets. So that's something I think that people at home will be able to visually see. The role of that DMF and then the role of the CMF mopping everything up. And Fred is doing, look, he's a bit of an unsung hero.
He certainly
is. He's after getting the glory today with the goal. And again, your man, I'm going to call him your man, Sabitzer.
Well, I was going to say, I think affectionately known as in Manchester parts is Fred the Red.
Fred the Red, yeah.
He's affectionately known as. And again, of all the times to pop up and score, this is the time. And
this is it now.
And now we're into the second half. I think there might be a slight issue with a controller.
Look, I think Inter just need to settle and just try get into the game a little bit quicker.
A bit of fair play given here. I see this is the part of esports that you kind of like to see. It's nice that that's actually it's basically controller issue.
Just controller issue, I think.
Controller issue, and it's nice to see some fair play there, though.
That's just going to get that sorted. That's fine. But I think, look, I think 3-1 down was, it's obviously not the best position for him, but when you have a talented team like Manchester United and you've got a talented player like Kilzu, he's going to want to put you to the sword here, I think, and get goals for himself, get goals for his team, because it could come down to goal difference in terms of seeding and in terms of positioning at the end. I mean, if we are to take a look at the table there, as we said, Arsenal have yet to play obviously today.
And they got a big one against Bayern.
Down their necks.
They got a big one against Bayern later on. And
that could swing either way. That could swing either way.
There was a reason why I highlighted it as a game of the day, because of how the permutations could potentially be impacted.
Yeah.
Obviously, Manchester United, I believe we're back underway here.
We are back. Let's see if...
Controller issues aside, we are back to the second half here. It's Lautaro Martinez, Mkhitaryan. Sabitzer tries to head it away, but instead he's gifted it into the path of Çalhanoğlu. Barella, away to Bruno Fernandes. Here's Sabitzer, on towards Fred. Rashford, Martial, good knockdown again from Rashford. He's so integral to this team. And their desires to get into the top three here.
Barella's been quite in this game as well, actually. He's usually a fantastic player, but I just think that midfield has been dominated by Casemiro and Fred there, you know, with the box-to-box runs. Barella is in here. Bruno's back there defending now, Wes. He's doing everything today.
Everywhere. This team seems to, again, take a life of its own when it's in control at the eFootball Championship Pro. They all seem to be battling, and positions don't really seem to mean a lot because they all just defend in unison.
Yeah. I'd love to see how many touches Casemiro's had today across the 3 games.
I tell you.
Or the multiple games.
The stat takers at home will certainly be a very interesting one to look at. 60 minutes 60 minutes gone on the game now, and we've not seen anything in the second half from Inter in terms of pressure. It's Casemiro to Sabitzer. Sabitzer in towards Martial. It's cleared away by the right. Casemiro and Fred. The Brazilian duo mop it up. In towards Rashford again!
It's 4 ways, and that's game over, you would imagine, at this stage in the game.
You've got to feel that's
minutes
it.
left.
You've got to feel that's it. It's another goal from Rashford. It's another goal for Kilzu. And it's another goal for Manchester United.
I mean, he barely has the ball at his feet, and it's just bang in the back of the net. Again, it's that man that I've been talking about, that tandem. Casemiro to Fred, intercepted, blocked, boom. And again, it's all the same guys.
You get the feeling now that Manchester United might have their own blueprint as to how their best team functions.
I think we're seeing it right here.
We've seen McTominay be used. We've seen other players be deployed. We've seen these different things. And it now seems to be that they've, maybe by accident, have fallen onto this Casemiro-Fred tandem.
Yeah, it's the classic. It's the classic 3-man midfield, and then the 2 tandem up front, and then have one kind of utility player, I would say. That's Sabitzer's. I don't think there's a better player than that is doing this than Sabitzer. It's that utility role, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, because you can plug him in midfield, you can plug him in at an attack, and it works similarly the same way. We'll see their kills are now up to double figures for the season. And again, they seem to be moving in a bit of a wave here. And of course, up next for Manchester United, if you cast an eye forward, we already spoke to Cams earlier on. It's Monaco that are up next for Manchester United.
He was saying that.
So it'll be interesting to get thoughts on that, potentially, if we end up speaking to one of the Manchester United contingent. The game is not over here yet. There's Calhanoglu blocked off by Lisandro Martinez.
Yeah, it's just gone a little dead now, I think, because, you know, 4-1 is, you were saying, Wes, at the start of this game that there hadn't been somebody that had pulled away yet with, like, you know, multiple goal lead. It was all, it's a
beautiful ball clipped in. Oh, it's just gone wide.
I mean, that's just unfortunate again.
It's a great ball clipped in there, just not found the finish. It's Calhanoglu, who's been so reliable as of late. Beautiful ball, just chipped in there, just flashes a leg at it.
I think that would have been on another day that could have gone in, Wes. You know, that's the thing. That's the difference, to find margins between these. When confidence is high, that might have gone in on another day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see ball go forward to Rashford. It's 20 in-game minutes here left on the game as Martial rolled it across to Marcel Sabitzer. Sabitzer's in again, good save. Parried out to Martial, and that is surely that.
Everything has gone through Sabitzer again, and
for Manchester United.
I mean, yeah, it's just 5-1 is a big scoreline, Wes. I mean, personally for his own goal scoring as well, but Martial has been a problem today for Inter, especially for a Matador in this matchup.
I'd argue and suggest that Manchester United have been a problem for Inter. That's the real quandary here. And it's not a ricochet, it's a rebound, but you have to follow it up. And you know, kills you, as we've kind of traditionally said with the guys from France, you'll tend not to know whether they're winning or losing. And he seems very at home and very relaxed with what he's doing. And again, it's an extension of what we saw in Matchday 4. As you see, ball go through again. Martial's onside. Martial, can he make it 6? Yes, he can! It's 6 of the best from Manchester United.
Wes, this is the performance they were probably looking for, right? I mean, I think Kilzu, I could be wrong, but I think he only scored 6 goals in the whole entirety.
He's doubled his tally, yeah,
he's
quite.
He's
doubled it in one game, I believe, as well. 12 goals, that now puts him into the reach.
He's up there, yeah.
He's up there into top goal scoring now.
Yeah. And it's a simple ball through the middle. He cuts the angle again. We've seen it time and time again today. Doesn't shoot on the left, cuts inside, curled into the bottom corner. And that's all she wrote, man. Look, that's icing on the cake for Kilzu. He'll be delighted with that from a personal level, I think. But I think El Matador will feel a little bit hard done by with the scoreline there. It's a tough one to accept.
It puts him up to 3rd in the goal-scoring charts.
Just like that.
Only Uzmakabil and Etorito have more goals in this competition, as we'll see their confirmation on your screens. Of course, small matter of the two who are chasing have got yet to play.
They'll have something to say about that,
they may just have a little bit more to say about it, but it is a fantastic performance from Manchester United, and more so from Kilzu, who's really shown the way here as Fred tries to find the through ball. Skriniar intercepted.
Well, they're going for more.
This has been a demolition job by Kilzu here. Fred Dumfries intercepts it. 10 in-game minutes left here. Fred again.
Fred has covered every blade of grass, I think, today, Wes.
I was going to say, certainly has covered. And there's Martial in again. It's 7.
7 heaven, Wes, for United. It's just a simple kind of goal, a simple build-up, but it's again gone central. That's a hat-trick for Martial. I mean, it's just icing on the cake.
Kills you.
Icing on the cake.
Yeah, I was going to say, if there's any more ice on the cake, there'll be no more cake.
It's just going to be
That's how bad it will be. There's literally unreal performance here from Kilzu, but this has been coming from United in a sense of I'd said previous match day and also on this match day, they can keep their mentality, if they can keep themselves cool and they can deploy the players and their team in the best possible way, and given how good they are as individuals, they are a dangerous outfit.
Yeah,
they really are, and they're showing it now.
This is what happens when they hit their stride as well.
Absolutely.
They've peaked at the right time, maybe, Wes, as well.
And you talk about, we talk about real life parallels. Sometimes it's towards the latter end of the season. Do you want to start to hit form?
Yeah.
Especially going into what they could potentially be going into in a knockout format.
Yeah.
This is where you want to be hitting form. It's a fantastic result for them. As for FC Inter, I mean, goal difference is not doing them any help here whatsoever. And I think at the moment, I think it's getting to that stage now where you're suggesting they might be kind of out of it completely, which is not really where you want to be, especially with, with games and match day still left. You don't really want to be in a position where you're counting your team out, but it's certainly looking in dire straits at the moment. Here's Martial. Martial, is he going to go for 8 here? Look to try and pod that through to Rashford. Instead, De Vrij will clear his lines. Here's Barella to Mkhitaryan. Towards Lautaro Martinez. It's been largely quiet in this game here. Barella in towards Martinez. Stepped across to Rafael Varane. Short. Fred. Rashford. Martial. He attacks on again here. Martial's through again. It's up against Steven De Vrij. He's knocked it back the other way. Martial looking for Bruno. Sabitza's recovered it. And Skriniar intercepts. And there goes the full-time whistle. 7 goals to 1. It is a comprehensive victory for Kilzu, and it is 7 points from a possible 9 for Manchester United.
Well, Wes, look, I mean, the scoreline is obviously, you said it. Manchester United have been threatening. Was it going to be Lotfi? Was it going to be Nexa? Was it going to be Kilzu? That's some performance from Kilzu there. I mean, he just took every chance that came his way. And to put 7 up like that is just an insane performance. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Of course, as we say already, in terms of the respect level shown by both teams to each other. Again, once the game is finished and once the game is done, friendships can be renewed once more. But that last game there, I mean, I know we're probably going to see a lot of highlights from that. You probably have the 7 goals as the highlights from the entire game.
We might struggle to get them all in.
You might have to,
package.
But it started off here. It started off with an opening goal from El Matador, and you would have thought, well, actually, wait a sec, this might have something to be said. And then, if you looked here and you look at the kind of the reactions from both players, and you see there that's at 3. That's the goal to make it 3-1, because obviously we had so many goals you couldn't fit them all into the highlights. It's such a good and such a brilliant showing from Kilzu. You can imagine that Manchester United are absolutely delighted. They're now up to 3rd provisionally, and now it's really down to what happens in the next game. But fantastic achievement for those guys.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Wezza. I mean, Manchester United peaking at the right time, as Barry said. Very important for them to start hitting their stride. What is that now? I think, if my mathematics are correct, that's 16 points from the last 2 match days alone.
They've been greedy. They've been really greedy.
A very greedy club at the moment, Manchester United. But I was thinking to myself as I was watching these games, obviously fantastic performance. Silver lining for Inter Milan, of course. You have Merriman now finally breaking his duck in terms of points. He's up there in the top 10. I think he's even top 5 in terms of goals scored. Finally has a point to his name. But I was thinking to myself, Manchester United, when you look at Nexa, Lotfi, Kilzu, arguably the most well-rounded squad throughout the entire league.
Yeah, they've got a real balance to their squad. They seem to be at home with their squad now. They seem to be have found that form, have found that outlet in that big-time Martial that we saw, the epic big time that we saw. They've now got the outlet, they've now got the vibe within the team, and it certainly seems to be that they're a lot more comfortable now.
Well, they've hit the ground running on match day 5, and it's only fair that we hear from the team captain, Lotfi. Of course, we have Barry in the mix zone with him now.
Thanks, Harry. I am here with the main man himself. What a performance from you. Congratulations to you and the team. But obviously, you just scored so many goals there today. You're obviously happy with your performance.
Yes, we are very happy because this match was very important. Now we are really on the top of the team in the league, in the leaderboard. So yes, we are very happy with this performance, and yes.
And you just kept going for goals. You just wanted to score as many goals as possible.
Yes, I like to score goals. Sometimes players with +1 or +2 and they want to keep the score, but me, I like to score goal, and yes, that's my...
And we're seeing that, like, with Rashford. I have to ask you about Rashford, because you were waiting for a card probably of that caliber to come in. How big of a boost was he to you today?
Yes, our Rashford helped us a lot, because the previous one had a little bit problem in finishing. Now this one is really good in everything. So we are really happy to have him, and he will help us in the future.
Yeah, he's kind of scary in your hands, and in your teammates' hands. But looking ahead to match day 6, which you're going to be playing Monaco, I mean, what kind of a challenge is that going to be? You probably saw him earlier today. What kind of a challenge is that for you?
Yes, Monaco is always a special match for us because it's like the French derby. Like it's our friend. Yes, it's a French derby, so it will be very interesting to see.
Yeah, well, best of luck and congratulations again today. Thanks. Back to you, Harry.
Well, thank you so much there. Great to hear from Kills You. I'm